welcome to the Late Show with Matt Feeler. Another night of live sports broadcasting and news around the world. Tonight, we have a very special guest, a world-renowned poet, playwright, and is a pioneer to British literature. Please welcome William Shakespeare! What an entry we have today, folks. Wow, we are lucky here. Welcome, sir. Welcome.
Thank you, sir. Matthew, feeling lovely to be here.
We are very excited to have you here as well, sir.
As am I.
Well, we have some questions for you tonight. Are you ready?
Of course, sir. Anything for you.
Well, first off, why don't you tell me about your family?
Of course. Well, my family, we grew up in I grew up in a small village in England, and by today's standards, we have a very large family. I have two parents.
That's good.
Father's name is John, and my mother's name is Mary, as well as numerous siblings.
Why don't you tell me more about your siblings?
Of course, I have 8 siblings, and I was the 4th of which to be born. All really great people, very influential within the community, but unfortunately, only 5 of us, including myself, made it to adulthood,
Wow.
which was very tough
Wow.
on not only the children, but especially my parents. But we were able to use their wisdom and their generosity in positive ways to kind of live our lives the way they would.
Very respectful, sir. Very nice to know. Now, how about this? Were your parents as bright as yourself? Because we know you as a very bright and intellectual, sir.
Well, first I would like to start off by saying thank you. But the interesting thing that not many people know is I never really learned to read and write traditionally. I was
Really?
actually illiterate. And that's also goes for my parents. They never had the opportunity to read and write in proper schooling. So in that way, I believe that we are very similar into our intellectual aspect. But obviously, I've written numerous poetry, excuse me, and numerous different writing pieces. So I think that I was really able to broaden my knowledge and kind of express myself in ways that they couldn't. So in that way, I believe maybe I was a little more had a little more wisdom, but I wouldn't take anything away from them.
That is awesome. Wow, very impressive with everything you have accomplished.
Thank you, sir.
Next question.
Of course.
From 1585 to 1592, we seem to have no records of you. Do you have any info for us on that?
Pass.
Well, I'll just write that one off. Well, I think we're going to take a little break here.
Of course. We'll be back in a second, I'm sure.
No, we're not. Welcome back, folks, to the Late Show with our special guest here, William Shakespeare.
Thank you, thank you.
We have a couple more questions for you here, sir, and people are very interested in your peculiar life.
Who wouldn't be, all right?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Here we go. So one play that is very well known, Macbeth. We really enjoyed that play. That was very much so one of my favorites.
Well, it was wonderful, wasn't it?
It was. So, where did you get your inspiration for this play? Or at least your main inspiration? I'm sure there was many.
Well, you're very right with that statement there. There were many sources of inspiration, but my main inspiration was the Hillshire Chronicles, and this was a piece of literature that kind of detailed a lot of Scotland's history, and I was able to look at this literature and kind of read through it, and kind of see things that stood out to me, and I also was able to go through the section that was based off this character now that I call Macbeth, and I was able to kind of think about it. I was okay, this could be something I could go off of. I could do something with this. So I was it kind of just hit me at that point after the Hillshire Chronicles, and I was okay, I'm gonna write a play here.
Wow, what great inspiration! I mean, it turned out amazing, obviously.
Thank you, sir.
So, I mean, we all know you didn't completely copy these other events and pieces of...
Come on, Si, that's William Shakespeare talking to.
Well, so where did you make changes to these? You know?
Well, obviously nothing. I did not take anything from those authors. I made everything my own words. I did everything myself.
Wow.
But there were two main large changes that I made, and the first one would be that I made everything a lot more dramatic. So in these in the Shakespeare Chronicles, there were a lot of things kind of about this character that I call Macbeth, and they're all very vicious and kind of stuck out to me, as I said earlier. But I was able to like enhance those and use them in different ways to create this whole story about this happened, and then kind of led to these things that I read about, and I was like, okay, like I'm gonna make that more dramatic and kind of like set a really interesting mood throughout the play, and I think that is very obvious in my writing.
Wow. Yeah.
And then
we definitely noticed that.
I think so. And the second thing I have changed, I wouldn't really call it a change, so to speak, but I think that I was able to shed light on a sensitive subject, and I'm sure this subject is very sensitive even in today's society, but especially back in those days. So what I tried to do here was shed a light on the vigilance and the evil that could come up in a old society where the king is the supreme leader, and I was able to, at first in the play, show how Duncan was the leader of the chain of being, and I was able to show like what happens if the chain of being is messed up by the vigilant Macbeth, excuse me. And I was able to show that through the series of events that occurred after the murder here, and I kind of want to shed light on how awful and difficult those situations could be if they were ever to come up.
Yeah, I mean, very interesting. Very. We'll take a little break now, but we have some more questions about Macbeth and that story, that great play coming back up. Welcome back, folks. We are here once again with William. What a night it has been. Wow, what a story you are, sir.
Thank you, sir. Happy to be here.
We are excited. We have a few more questions for you about Macbeth. What a play that is.
What a play.
So reading through Macbeth, this play, I mean, many themes pop out. Do you have a few main themes that you are especially interested in?
Oh, of course. Well, I've had a lot of time to obviously read through this play, and I think the three most important themes is fate versus free will, ambition and power, and then gender.
So fate and free will. How can you explain that to me throughout the story?
Well, fate and free will is actually one of the most apparent themes throughout the novel or play, excuse me. And I think that I was able to incorporate this mostly through the three witches. And I'm sure you have read the play, but for the viewers out there, Macbeth encounters three witches after battle, and he's a very noble warrior, and at this time he's the title of Thane of Glamis, and he runs into three witches with his warrior friend named Banquo, and the three witches give him a few prophecies, and his prophecies include that he will not only continue to have the title of Thane of Glamis, he will become the Thane of Cawdor, and then eventually the King of Scotland. And I put this in there to obviously incorporate the theme, and the thing was able to come through this because the difference between fate and free will is fate is something that just happens without any actions to go into it. It's just something that the gods put onto you, and it just happens. But free will is something that can be distorted through overly confidence, false information. I'm giving away too much, but kind of different facts that maybe someone shouldn't really know due to the response that someone could have, like Macbeth. So when he heard the prophecies, he didn't really know what to think. He was like, okay, like, is this going to be my fate and I'll reach those goals, or am I going to have to do something? And is my free will going to be violated and I'm going to have to do certain things that I may regret in order to reach those goals? So I think that through those prophecies, I was really able to incorporate it, and it's really, the whole play is involving those prophecies at all times, and I think it's just wonderful.
Wow, incredible. So the next one, ambition and power, very, very interesting ones.
So after Macbeth got the prophecies, he got very ambitious, as well as his wife, Lady Macbeth. He was pushing him to be ambitious, and I think that ambition is due to greed, and I think that he became very greedy with power, and he killed Duncan and then proceeded to kill many others in order to keep his title as a king. And I think that the greed for power and the over-ambition really messed up like a lot of things, including the chain of bleeding, which I mentioned earlier. So it's just like, I was really there's obviously good ambition and bad ambition, but I was really able to show the bad part of ambition through the greed for power and Macbeth's actions.
Well, so yeah, that's power in this play is just incredibly important. It seems to me. You just see Macbeth. He
turned into a different person.
Exactly. I mean, it's amazing. So as well as amazing accomplishments Shakespeare has done in our literature, he mentioned to me over break he is very fond of music, specifically rap.
That is correct, sire.
I mean, he told me earlier that he has something to share with us tonight, live on the show. How lucky we are.
Dave. This is a rough draft, just a little rap about Macbeth up until the part where Banquo gets killed. So, don't judge, but just kind of give me feedback after the show in the comments if you'd like. Well, thank you. But here goes nothing. Macbeth walks in and says, "What up?" The three would just say with mouth to make a jaja.
Okay.
Dane of Glamis called on the king. Lady Macbeth will be on his wing. When two come true, Macbeth becomes ambitious. He turns from loyal and caring into vicious. Lady Anne forces him to do evil.
Right.
Say goodbye to the king. This is greater than Knievel.
Oh.
Macbeth is ordered to sleep no more. The skin of Duncan he had tore.
Wow.
This led to the two sons fleeing. Malcolm and Donald Blaine already leaving. To England and Ireland they had went. It was just an unexplainable event. Next is Banquo. He had it coming. His murder sent young Fleance running.
Wow. He could really do it all. Wow. Well, that's the end of our show tonight, folks. What a great night it has been with you, Mr. William. Okay. Yeah. You just ruined, our video. Okay.
Good night, sire.
Yeah.